I'm not sure which model we're meant to be using. Let's start because it was giving me timeouts for using the most intelligent model, for using the AGI. Let's try this one, which is the fastest for daily tasks. So we can add the drop files here to add to the chat. Okay, that failed. Okay, that worked. Okay, so folder didn't work, but the whole project did. So we have a bunch of files, well, 5 to be precise. It's a couple of things that we could. Why is it 3% of knowledge capacity? Project knowledge is currently limited to Claude's maximum context window size. And it's not loading. Okay, so these files are 3% of knowledge capacity. Okay, that's good to know. Explain. Let's start with something simple. Right, so it okay, it's going. It is going. It's going places. We do not have a text-to-speech option in here. Very unfortunate, very disappointing. There is none on the phone app as well. There is a thing that you can talk to the thing that will just transcribe your voice, but then the responses are all text-based. Yeah, JavaScript manages music, interactive elements. Okay, so I'm not sure if it knows how the user interface looks like. It might pop in the user interface. Assume it will just wait. I'm not sure. Is this one adding the image into the project? Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how this works. The 3.5 haiku doesn't support images. Okay, how did you switch to another model? I don't understand how it works. Let's seem to know what's what. Into the project knowledge, should we also include the image of the front panel? Not sure. I would say yes, just to help it out a bit. Yeah, pop that screenshot into the project folder. It's not loading it. Why? It doesn't like images or something. Maybe it didn't like the name of the file or something. Files are not supported. Okay. We had the chat. It was able to explain what's what. It's a bit of a funny interface. Okay, so we have a specific problem with the application at the moment. Is that when we actually running it, somehow the node duration ends up going down and down and down until it's 0. So it's fluctuating quite a bit, but then it's just going towards 0 and staying 0. So if we could look at the relevant code and explain why is that happening, that would be greatly appreciated. Yeah, it is fluctuating up and down, but it's trending downwards, whereas tempo is fluctuating properly, but the node duration is just going down and down and down and down. Or maybe it's not doing it anymore. Okay, I was pretty sure I was doing it before. It's doing it with a certain randomness level. Yeah, so when randomness is like 100%, yeah, anyway, it's hard to see or test what's going on. Can we just test the code, particularly the JavaScript? There's something tested for any inconsistencies. That will be awesome. But also we would like to actually move on and with the melodies, if you can look at the melodies JSON file, how could we improve those? So I assume those are just random melody samples. but if we could somehow actually generate longer, more melodic examples in the JSON file, that will be great. If you can just explain how would you go about it without any code. To fix this, not update the UI input value. Why not? Or store the original base duration separately. Yeah, I like the second option better. Yeah, the melody incorporate rhythmic variety, eighth notes, triples, etc. Okay, that's all sounds good. Yeah, longer phrases sounds good. Repeated motifs and the variations sounds amazing. Instead of selecting the scales, or are we having the same melodies can be played in different scales? That actually could be nice if we had the same melody and then an option to play it in major, minor, or blues. Maybe even add more scale options while it's generating. We can listen to some music. Yeah, I think currently we have a different melodies when we select a different scale, but the melodies are super short. Oh, and we're meant to have 3 instruments. Currently we only have 2. Yeah, last time we were discussing turning this into a 3 instrument generator. So currently we only have lead and second one, but we're thinking lead, harmony, and bass. And then you'll have the notes, the melody notes for each. Okay, so it's recommending common jazz patterns. Progression is going like, okay, it's one of the most common chord progressions in jazz. Okay, we can happily try that. Sounds good. Chromatic approaching means approaching a target note by half steps. Okay. If there's any musicians in the audience, do chip in. We do eventually want a description of how synthetic music generator is relevant to neuroscience, because eventually we are thinking recording EEG and modifying the parameters of the jazz music or another music. Well, jazz is, I thought, would be easier to generate. You can comment on that if you like, but essentially the idea is that as we listen to the horrible music, hopefully we can make it better. Then as we adjust certain parameters, the brain response, the hypothesis is that the brain response will change as well. But yeah, so that's kind of where we are gearing towards. Call and response. Okay, so this is like a musical conversation where 2, I guess, instruments talking to one another, like mimicking. So that's another thing. So that's the perception that music creates. Obviously they're not really talking to one another, but our brain is being tricked into thinking it is. So if you can comment on that, that could be a good example. For something we can look at the EEG response. My hypothesis will be that one of these parameters, if we actually implement them, will have a greater response on neural activity. And this video is brought to you by Claude 3.5 Sonnet, whichever way you pronounce it, I have no idea. Okay, and it's generating a lot of stuff. Choose style. Maybe we can have shorter responses. A connection between jazz music and neuroscience is fun. Yeah, of course, it's fascinating. When you hear call and response pattern in music, our brains engage in predictive processing. Okay, trying to anticipate how the response will mirror the contrast with the call. This could be particularly interesting for EEG studies. Okay, so it's updating the melodies. Do we need base duration? Yes, we do. Don't mention AGI to this thing, because I don't know, maybe it's a secret prompt that wakes it up. Yeah, the other AGI is down. This should have a kill switch, so maybe it does. Maybe somebody at the company left and forgot to return the key for the submarine. Do submarines have keys? So yeah, major outage. And now they have Sora as well, and it's already down. so much for deploying. Deploy fail. GPT is currently unavailable. We have identified the issue and working to roll out the fix. Yeah, good luck. Good luck. How am I supposed to do any work? No errors. I was just testing essentially how this project knowledge works. Yeah, if I can create another, yeah, it's a bit weird. It's weird. I can create another project. If we can create, well, the main problem is that when you modify, it's not actually modifying stuff in the files. Yeah, it's weird like that. Like you have to do the modification and then make sure you save it, test it, whatever, and then you actually have to, so you can re-upload. But when you're actually making changes to the code, it's generating it in the new code in the canvas, but it's not actually updating. It can save the canvas with like an updated name, but it's not actually modifying the content of the file, which is a bit odd, but okay, we can deal with it. Would you listen to music like this? It's meant to have a melody. I'm not sure. Yeah. Well, it is jazz, so